Airports like this aren't supposed to exist in Southern California anymore. Most of them disappeared or turned into something else. This one didn't. Santa Paula is a working airfield from the 1930s, and somehow it still feels like it. So how did this place hold on while everything around it changed? Look around this place. It's a working airport. Lessons, pattern work, touch and goes. No tower, just pilots talking to each other on their radios. And tail draggers from another era. From the air, the valley explains Santa Paula. Agriculture, small town streets, open sky. And it's a corridor, beautiful and exposed. And the airport isn't out on the edge of nowhere. It's right next to town, woven into daily life, and always has been. Not many airfields feel like this anymore. Here, people still watch a departure like it matters. They teach, they wrench, they fly. And for a lot of people here, the hangars are the heart of it. Tools on benches, old airplanes, classics brought back, one careful decision at a time. Airfields like this used to be everywhere. Now they're almost gone. But Santa Paula held on. So how did it keep its golden age soul? To understand that, we have to go back to when flying first came to this valley. If Santa Paula still feels like the 1930s, it's because it still looks like this. Look at a 1930s aeronautical chart and you see what Southern California was. Airfields everywhere. At one point, there were 53 landing strips within 30 miles of the Los Angeles City Hall. Flying wasn't just transportation yet. It was a big deal. Air meets, barnstormers, flight schools, crowds at the rope line, the future showing up early. And Southern California was made for it. Good weather, wide valleys, open land, and a culture that loved speed and machines. Even in the Depression, people came west for work, and airplanes followed. Oil fields, farms, the studios, and a growing aircraft industry. All under skies you could fly in almost every day. And back in Santa Paula, flying caught on with the ranchers and farmers. Several local pilots were flying from strips on their own land, but farmland is valuable. So they started talking about a real airport, one that the town could build. Then, in 1928, disaster struck. The St. Francis Dam failed, and the flood tore through this valley. But it also revealed their grit. Santa Paula rebuilt and kept moving forward. And in the years after, right into the early Depression, this airport takes shape. That's where Ralph Dickenson steps in. Not just as a pilot, but as a builder. He helps secure the land, pulls the community together, and gets the work moving. And then they dedicated it. Opening day wasn't some quiet ribbon cutting. It was a community event. People dressed up. Cars lined the edge of the airfield. Airplanes pulled in from all over Southern California. And everybody came out to watch. But the point wasn't spectacle. Ralph Dickenson wasn't chasing glamour. He wanted a place that worked. Reliable, practical, welcoming. And he didn't just set a tone, he helped build a way of running this airfield that put flying first. That gets established early here. And in those first years, the rhythm sets. Instruction, local flying, people learning the air one day at a time. Not glamour, routine. The kind that turns an airfield into a place that matters. And for a moment, it all feels unstoppable. New machines, new jobs, and a growing airport. But in Southern California, nothing stays untouched for long. By the late 1930s, Southern California was changing fast. The same boom that made flying feel inevitable also made land more valuable and the region more crowded. And aviation itself was changing. Bigger, faster, and pulled towards events that would reshape the entire country. But when you stand here today, when an engine comes alive, and somebody rolls onto the runway, you can still feel what this place was built for. Because keeping an airfield like this doesn't just happen. And Santa Paula's first big test came sooner than anyone expected. The first big test was World War II. After Pearl Harbor, the West Coast locked down. Civilian flying was restricted, and Santa Paula was ordered closed. But while Santa Paula airplanes were disassembled and hangars locked, flying did not disappear in this valley. Ralph Dickenson kept flying, training wartime pilots at the Mira Loma Flight Academy in Oxnard. Santa Paula Airport stayed in the story as an auxiliary training strip, still part of the local flying world. When the war ended, this airport didn't come back from nowhere. It came back through people who had never stopped flying. After the war, aviation didn't just grow, it consolidated. The small fields started to vanish. Santa Paula never had room to expand. It was pinned between a river and eventually a freeway. Close enough to the city to matter, but too constrained to become something bigger. Places like this turn into arguments about land use, about control, about what this place is supposed to be. And somehow, it stays a small airfield. And then, the threat you can't argue with: water. The river was always part of this place. In 2005, it reached the runway. Not the whole field, not the hangars, but enough. Enough to ask the question, do you fix it or let it go? Because rebuilding a runway isn't cheap or easy. Here, they rebuilt, because this place was still worth keeping. Then, something flipped. For decades, this place was debated, protected, repaired. During the 2017 Thomas Fire, one of the most destructive fires California had ever seen, there was no debate. The danger was moving towards the city, and this narrow strip of pavement became critical infrastructure. Firefighting helicopters staged and refueled here, turned and went back out to fight the inferno. For years, the community had kept this airport alive. That week, the airport returned the favor. So here's the answer. Santa Paula kept its golden age soul because decade after decade, the community faced every pressure to modernize, erase, or repurpose it, and chose to keep it flying their way. And what they protected isn't just an airfield. It's a kind of flying that's getting rare. Small airplanes, short, narrow runways, tail draggers. A first solo, a Saturday flight just because the sky is blue. Stick and rudder flying. With people who still know each other by first name. That spirit was here on opening day when Ralph Dickenson helped will this place into existence. He helped shape a culture that put flying first, and it held. Each generation carried it forward, not with promises, but with choices and work. And that's why when you visit Santa Paula today, it doesn't feel like a museum. It feels alive. Still flying the way it always has.